Hello everybody, welcome back to Cinema Savvy. It is myself, George, bringing you a very special video, a very last minute video, a video I didn't think I'd be doing today. I woke up today, had a day at work to some degree, and I sat there thinking, okay, I think today's the day I talk about Emilia Perez, and we've been blessed by the gods at Lucasfilm that I'm not doing an Emilia Perez review tonight. We have instead had the first trailer for Andor Season 2, which is going to be premiering on April the 22nd on Disney Plus. That we already all knew, and that's a couple of days after Easter for those of you curious, and for those Star Wars fans as well. That is 3 days after Star Wars Celebration finishes. I think it's the 22nd here in the UK. It's going to be like the 21st in America or something like that. But either way, we know the show's got a release date, and now we've got our first official footage. If you like myself, friends of the channel, Dave, Phil, Sam, many others, we're very lucky that at Star Wars Celebration in 2016, we were able... 2016? That's a Rogue One conversation. 2023, we were able to see the first few reels of Andor. It was still filming at that point in time. So this is the first time I've had anything released to the public other than, I think, the thumbnail image, which was the at the end of the Disney Plus sort of combined trailer. They had that right at the end. So you know it's been coming. We've just had the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show finish. We've just had a Marvel film out, and Disney tends to use their marketing strategies where they sort of let something finish before ramping up the next one. So Skeleton Crew, of course, wrapped in mid-January. So having Andor Season 2 trailer now makes absolute sense. They've just had one of the flagship shows gone for the year. So now they can really focus on marketing this. And the trailer itself is amazing. I'm going to actually play the trailer on this video. I've not done this for a while, so I'm going to see how it comes out. But what I do want to hear is everybody at home. It doesn't matter if you've not watched the trailer yet. You can either watch it with me. It's not a first reaction. I'm sorry. I'm not somebody who's ever really cared for reactions. I think a lot of people just make up a load of nonsense about facial reactions for thumbnails, for views. But I'm going to play the trailer, so there's a bit of context in my discussion. I probably won't talk over it too much, but then I'm actually going to go and talk about it properly. And ironically, it's the second spy video this week following the James Bond news. We've got Simon, who says that the music doesn't fit at all. Looks great. That I do believe. Yeah, shall I give my thoughts on season 1 first, for those that haven't worked it out? It's hit this point in pop culture now where everyone cites Andor as the best example of Star Wars post-Disney buying them. It's very much the critics loved this, everybody loved this, it's the best show. Why isn't this show Andor? Why isn't that show Andor? And now me, I love the show, and I do agree with a lot of their sentiments, but every Star Wars show doesn't need to be Andor. And that's something where I've got a bit bored of certain people online who everything has to be compared to Andor, which is incredibly unfair. You can compare, you want the quality of that show, but not every show is comparable to this. An espionage series across 24, originally intended as 40 episodes, bridging the gap, a prequel to the first Star Wars, well, not the first Star Wars prequel, the first Disney Star Wars prequel. So there's a lot to take into that. And I'm a big fan. I love the writing, as many people did. I love Tony Gilroy. I love the Nicholas Britell soundtrack. I just very much enjoyed it. I really appreciate the new characters that were brought into it, as well as the existing ones that maybe made their technical first appearances, or people like Saw Gerrera who crop up once more. Season 1 was a delight, and it was a complete shock, if I'm honest, that it was as good as it is, which is why I'm not as in with the whole, oh yeah, everything needs to be compared to this. But enough of that. I'm going to put a headset on and I'm going to play the trailer, because I'm not going to play it loud, otherwise I'll probably get copyright striked. So let's do this. Okay, I need to sort the background out. This is the weird thing doing this live. I did plan on doing this pre-recorded, but it doesn't really work, and it's going to take far too long to edit. Not that I'm against doing a good job of editing, but I have stuff to do today. So I'm not in the position to be doing a complete edit all night. So let's play the trailer. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so this is very similar, these moments from the Celebration trailer. And like Simon, everyone's speaking about the music, which is a great song. Not what I expected from Star Wars, but a song that works nonetheless. But I'm not so keen on the paragraph of text. But what this trailer does so well as a teaser is we're bringing back Saw Gerrera, we're bringing back Mothma, we're bringing back Luthen, Rael, but they're giving nothing away in regards to their story, their purpose, what's going to happen with them. And then the King returns. You could have just released the photo and I'm done for the whole series. Again, another paragraph we don't need. The dead rebel, the X-Wings taking off. I've seen the trailer once, by the way. It's just very memorable. And these were very much bits we saw at the Celebration tease, whereas all this stuff is new. And I'm going to talk about that because people haven't clocked it yet. I think that's Melchi as well.
Remember this moment. You're here, you're right here, and you're ready to fight.
Okay, let's talk into it. So I'm not going to pull up it frame by frame. I might actually do little bits here and there, but I'm going to do a more of a consensus talking over the trailer because kind of what I said at the beginning there, the thing with a trailer such as Andor, we know where the story's going. We know that Andor's going to end up in the Battle of Scarif and he's going to get nuked with Felicity Jones and it's game over. And when the show was announced all those years ago, I was very skeptical. Like, really? The prequel for the prequel in a way? Did we need this? 40 episodes, did we need this? And it's something that stuck with me across all this time. It's something that when that first trailer came out for that first season, I was like, okay, I'm in on this. And I was very lucky to go to the screening. They screened the first 3 episodes in Leicester Square back in 2022. It was now, bloody hell. And I loved the first 3 episodes. I thought, wow, this is very good. It's a very good story arc. And I didn't not come out of it glowing. I was very glowing, but Andor at that point is different to Andor now. And this is what was incredible about this show. And this is the whole conversation around why people should watch shows weekly, why people should watch shows differently. Andor grew week to week with respect of both quality and I don't want to use the word discourse, but the conversations online, akin to Skeleton Crew, were far more positive than some of the other Star Wars channels. It wasn't so much something that you could pin up on a screen and have people screaming and crying about or raving and screeching, but what we had, and this isn't a criticism of Star Wars, we had quality TV to the point the show was nominated for Best Drama at the Emmys. Not The Mandalorian, I think Kenobi's a miniseries or maybe something like that, but the Star Wars shows haven't had that prestige. And for those that aren't familiar with the TV side of things, and this is the sort of highest honor you can have, is the Emmy nomination for Best Drama. Obviously winning it then surpasses it, but for a Star Wars show to get that is by tradition not the sort of thing that would be nominated for awards such as that. Sure, it would nominate all the technical ones, but to see how much that first season grew, the impact it had, everyone speaks about the No Way Out story arc, which is absolutely one of the best story arcs in all of Star Wars. It'd be right up there with some of the best stuff that they ever put together on the TV stuff of the animated shows. You look at so many great animated story arcs, and what Andor has done with an incredible first season is surpassed them to an extent. Completely different shows, but Andor was able to transition into being a live-action Star Wars series about a character whilst maintaining the quality that you'd want from a Star Wars series. And that's where it kind of feeds into season 2. That season 2 is a different ballgame. Season 1 was 5 years before the events of Rogue One. For those that don't remember, that initial 40-season thing was going to be like, we'll do 1 season per year to get to Rogue One. And the season 2 announcement has been that Andor will have 4 3-episode arcs, and each of those arcs is going to be 1 year into the future. So the show will finish either just before, the show will finish on this, maybe moments before Rogue One starts. Maybe we're going to get him going to the planet with I forgot the actor's name, Daniel something, the actor with the bad knee who Cassian had to kill. We're going to see him transition from the season 1, I don't want to be, involved in this, I'm just here for the money to find a sister, to look for a Bix, to this is going to be a fully fledged killer who's going to obviously have to come full circle within Rogue One. So we know the destination, we've got the start of the journey, and this show's going to fill the middle. And the beauty of this show is the Rogue One stuff's really able to come into it. We're going to get K2SO played by Alan Tudyk, which is exciting. And again, their partnership in Rogue One, it's very much that, hey, they're clearly a thing. They've been there together. They've done missions together. How do you explore that? That's a really key part of what season 2 is going to be. We get Ben fucking Mendelsohn coming back, the absolute king, who cringily, I used to, on our season 1 discussions, play some Krennic sound effects hoping he'd pop up. He never did. I gave up hope. And you know what? That first season was better for it. The first season didn't need him. But I think season 2 does. Now we've had a look at the Death Star. We've seen it again in the trailer. We've got Krennic watching over the production, whether he's been watching over that production for 10 years. Maybe we'll see Tarkin, who knows? But it's again raising those questions of the destination for the show is not only maintaining its quality to be a great series, but to develop the character of Andor and take him to the events of Rogue One. You've got the political stuff going on with Mothma, which, by the way, guys, go back to that trailer. She's got the short hair in it, and she's talking to Krennic. So we know we're going to get Krennic scenes with Genevieve O'Reilly, which to me is very exciting. And if you haven't not noticed that, it's the bit where he sort of raises his eyebrows and smiles. Genevieve O'Reilly's on the left of that shot. She's got the short hair. We then see a later shot of her walking around Coruscant at the back of her with short hair again with her husband in front. So we're going to obviously even get the Mon Mothma origin to the extent that, again, when you get to Rogue One, when Mothma's in it, she's got the short hair again. And I'm really excited for more of the Genevieve O'Reilly sequences. Are they going to go towards some of the stuff we saw in Rebels, where we get her speech? We've got the conflict of her and Saw Gerrera. We've got Forrest Whitaker returning once more as Saw Gerrera, character that I very much enjoyed in the small doses we've had over the years. So there's some really exciting stuff with this second season. And it's incredibly exciting to be able to go on this. And a really big talking point from this trailer, I'll talk about the press release that's coming after, but the choice of music, you've got Nicholas Patel, who has just scored one of the best shows of all time with Succession, an incredible series, some of the most incredible pieces of music across the whole thing. And we're going for normal music and non-Star Wars music. I know this was criticized with the Acolyte, with what happened in the not post credits, but they played normal music, didn't they, during the credits? But this is The Revolution Starts Now by Steve Earle. This is not the sort of thing I'd expect on a Star Wars thing, but it fits. It is about revolution. You know, it's about rising up to the evil empire. It's very contextual for 2025 if people want to really get there. I'll avoid doing so, but there's so many comparisons, and I think the timing of the show coming out is also incredible, incredibly unintentional. But the timings, the conversations that are probably going to go on around it, I'm really intrigued by. And that's as far as I'm going to be willing to talk about politics on a stream by myself on a Monday in February. But when there are other people on, when the episodes are coming out, I guess that's going to be a key discussion point, as is this. We're not getting 12 episodes aired weekly, starting from April the 22nd and finishing on July the 9th. We're getting 3 episodes aired every week for 4 weeks. So if you didn't clock that, there's a press release on Disney, and I've got it here, and I'm going to bring it up on the screen. And I'm just going to show the one paragraph that says so. It says here, creator and executive producer Tony Gilroy has shared that this season will follow Cassian's journey in the 4 years leading up to the events of Rogue One, with the 12-episode story unfolding in 4 weekly chapters of 3 episodes each. So we're going to be getting 3 episodes a week for 4 weeks. We're essentially getting a brand new Star Wars film a week for 4 weeks. I cannot wait. I kind of want to book some of it off work. I've got no idea if anything would get approved. That's my to-do list for tomorrow. But the fact we're going to be getting like 2-hour plus weekly installments, there's a lot to take in. The nuance I spoke about with season 1, where season 1 worked so well because it had word of mouth. People were watching it every week. People were saying, how great is this show? And every week you were wanting to come back to find out more. Whereas it's a completely different approach to season 2. Granted, season 1's built a humongous audience. I know we don't get viewing data from metrics from streaming services. I know that a lot of people lie. By the way, folks, 1 month for Disney Plus is going to cover the whole show. If you want to just pay that premium for 1 month, that's what I'll be doing. But it's really interesting that it's going to take a different approach to season 1, something that worked. Granted, supposedly the viewership data for season 1 wasn't as high as other Star Wars shows, particularly The Mandalorian. I think The Acolyte at this point in time they spoke of that it was one of the lower viewed ones, but at the end of the day, it proves, like in the film industry, it's not all about views, it's not all about box office, it's not all about money. Businesses will make business decisions, of course they will, and it's frustrating sometimes when they do, but they obviously saw the quality with the show, the reception the show had, and are very happy to run with it moving forward. Now, I've got season 1 on my shelf. I'm going to start rewatching them in the very near future. We've got The Last of Us season 2, which is going to be airing 2 days before episodes of Andor is going to be airing. We've got so many things coming out. And for the spy fans amongst you as well, the show's going to finish airing a week before Mission Impossible comes out. So it doesn't even detract from the big blockbusters that are going to be coming out week to week after. And to me, that makes it really exciting. It's like a little Easter treat that we're going to get this every few weeks. But I thought it was a phenomenal trailer. And even going into the stories, I don't know any of the story arcs in the episodes. What did you learn from that trailer? Less is more. We're not told story angles, we're not told story beats. We know from season 1 that Andor is a rebel at this point in time. He's made that commitment. He's made the call. We get montages of the other characters. You can maybe piece a couple of things together. Who's seeing who's in this moment? Oh, look, we've got Bix here. Oh, look, we've got K2 here. You're not getting told any story development for them. You're not getting told who's done what and why he's doing this. The trailer does a phenomenal job at revealing nothing whilst advertising the show with some beautiful cinematography, with some incredible visuals, some interesting music, and it's going to be really exciting to, again, see how that transpires to the big screen in only just under 2 months now. So I'm very hyped. I'm not going to drag out this video for the sake of dragging out this video. I've not, as you can probably tell by this, I've not been able to bring on one of the usual guests. I'm excited to know what people think of this. I spoke to a lot of friends about this. As I said, sometimes less is more. I'm not someone that tends to be deep diving into trailers, doing analysis. Saying this, I probably will for The Last of Us Season 2. But given the fact this trailer gives nothing away, that kind of makes it more exciting to know what the story beats are going to be in this series. I think we're going to be getting big named characters being killed off like every couple of weeks. Like if I was just making a random prediction now, I can guarantee you a couple of names who aren't going to survive the season. And these are maybe wild predictions. This is like the Game of Thrones effect. There's no way Luthen, Rael, Stellan Skarsgård's going to make it out. Dedra Miro, I don't think she's going to make it out. Obviously, we know that Cassian's going to make it through. We know that K2's going to make it through. But a couple of the other big ones, obviously, Mothma's going to make it through. Melchi's going to make it through. I really don't know with Bix. I think she's the interesting one. I'd like there to be a happy ending amongst somebody with the Andor set pieces. But would you be surprised if they do a Rogue One and wipe out everyone that wasn't in Rogue One or that wasn't in the future Star Wars films? It's a really interesting question. And shows aren't always about just killing off people and offing people. I know that Game of Thrones made it this big thing of who's going to go, who's going to stay. But as long as we have the quality writing that we had in that first season, I've got absolutely nothing to worry about. I think we're in for an all-timer. And if they nail this second season, going to watch Rogue One after Andor Season 2 is going to hit like crack. For those that don't know, we've got it on our playlist. We've got a big Andor playlist in the description below. You can check out spoiler discussions from Season 1. There is a video done, and it is watching Rogue One before Andor Season 1. I have not seen Rogue One since this day. It's had cinema re-releases here. It probably get a cinema re-release maybe around after this show, but I've intentionally not watched Rogue One now for about 3 years. It'll be 3 years or 2.5 to 3 years really when this season's done. We'll be watching Rogue One after, and it's going to be a big video on the channel. And it's literally, the title is as blunt as it needs to be, watching Rogue One post Andor. I'm so intrigued to see what this show's impact has on that. There's an incredible podcast, Force Center, and Joseph Scrimshaw, one of the co-hosts, has always had this analogy that goes back years for me, going back to, I think I first heard it on Popcorn Talk back in like 2015 era. When they would go to watch a new Star Wars film, your experience of the original 6 changes before you watch episode 7. What you knew and what you had with the first 6 films, it changes upon your first viewing of episode 7. Doesn't matter what your thoughts are on the film, whether you love it, hate it, despise it, loathe it, love it, rave about it. Your experience changes because of there being a new entry, especially at that point, having an episodic entry. And that's how I've viewed Star Wars since, that every time something's going to come out, something new, I know that my experiences won't change in the essence of what I think of those films and what they did to me growing up, etc., etc. But viewing those films are going to hit so differently because of other things that have come and gone. And that's a conversation for so many different franchises. That's not exclusive to Star Wars, but to hear it on a Star Wars podcast all those years ago, that's really guided me through the last decade of Star Wars stuff. I can look at some Star Wars things about, yeah, but you watch Rogue One and then you go to watch A New Hope. And what's that on the opening line of The Crawl? The Rebels have had their first victory. Yeah, man, we've seen that first victory. You know, you can look at things like Solo now, which had a great relationship with Lando Calrissian and Solo in there, and that impacts their future relationships. And you've heard stories, there's been comics, there's been this, that, the other, but the experience watching Star Wars to me is second to none. I mean, if there's any screenings for this in London, I'll be doing my best to get to them. I'd love to see these on the big screen, especially the stuff we're going to get the Death Star, all those sorts of things. I'm so excited for this show. I'm so excited for what the potential this show is going to have, and I really hope other people feel the same. If I was to give any criticisms of the trailer, because I'm going to be very polite in that as well, the paragraph was unnecessary for all the critic reviews. Like, we know at this point in time it had like unbelievable critic reviews, but why not just pop in like nominated for best drama at the Emmys? Or don't put Rotten Tomatoes, obviously, but maybe a couple of critics quotes. We didn't need a paragraph per one. It's a lot. Again, I'm sold it doesn't matter to me. Maybe they're going to try and sell it casually to even more people. But it was interesting that for a season 2 that's 2.5 years later, they're really going over this critics quotes. I think a lot of the people that have heard about the show have heard about it. Carl has mentioned another great Star Wars podcast is Rebel Force Radio. Yes, I've heard of those as well. They are a renowned classic one. Oh, God, there's so many. There's Star Wars Sessions, if anyone wants a really good one. Star Wars Sessions are lovely guys that run that. We've got the Imperial Senate podcast. We've got friends of the channel on there as well. Star Wars Spell Out has been a renowned one as well. There's so many great Star Wars podcasts. I've probably just lost track of how many I'm going to say. I'm probably going to offend a friend or two that maybe run some. But there's great Star Wars podcasts. And if you can find those, they enhance the experience. Like the James Bond stuff that's happened last week. I've been sort of dipping in and out. I mean, the Bond community is a great community, but without there being new things, I haven't really been in it. And in the space of 3 days, I got to listen back to James Bond A to Z, got to listen to Spy Hards. Granted, Spy Hards are spy as a genre, so I recommend them for all your spy stuff, not just James Bond, but Radio 007 popped up. James Bond Radio returned. Calvin Dice did some great videos on his channel too. The Bond community was suddenly like, I want to hear what everyone's thinking about this news piece and what it means to them and what their thoughts and reactions are. And that's kind of what I'm like for Star Wars. I haven't done it for the Acolyte. I didn't mind the Acolyte, but I'd heard enough, if I'm honest, from everything. So I dipped. Didn't want to do anything outside of what we did. Loved my time with Skeleton Crew. But again, really tricky release schedule, releasing it around Christmas time. I wasn't going to check out loads of different things. But Andor Season 2, oh my, 1 week between films. I'm going to keep calling them films, but we're going to get a week between them. I'm going to Panther Track's another one. I'm going to continuously be listening to people's videos, to people's discussions in between those, because there's going to be so many things we don't capture. Obviously, you've got Star Wars Explained, Alex and Molly, who run, I think, the best Star Wars YouTube channel. That's very politely put, two of the loveliest people who do a great amount of work for the community within Star Wars, who will probably have an incredibly detailed video. That's why I don't need to detail these trailers, because I'm going to tell you to go to the best place to watch the next trailer. I don't know if that's bad marketing or not. It's kind of like the Miracle on 34th Street, isn't it? Go to somewhere else if you want that one thing. Star Wars Explained is going to nail this trailer, but the Mon Mothma hair thing, that's my secret. That's the one I've clocked that no one's speaking about yet. Mon Mothma's going to get the awful haircut. We're so sorry, Genevieve Riley, but it's part of you. It's like when Darth Vader turns into Darth Vader, isn't it? Once you get burnt, put the costume on, that's you done. Mon Mothma's going to be the all-white dress. It's going to be the necklace. It's going to be the awful haircut, and it's going to be perfect. And I think that's the best way I'm going to round out this video talking about Andor Season 2. Other videos coming up, well, it's Oscar season for another week at least. There'll be a review for Emilia Perez. I want to do a review for I'm Still Here, but it's not being shown here at all, if I'm honest. So I don't know if I'm even going to get a chance to see it, which is really frustrating. We'll be live on Sunday. We're going to be doing a predictions video. As I said, I need to review Emilia Perez. I really don't want to, but we're going to need to. We've got a lot of other stuff happening. We're planning. I mentioned Last of Us. I'm lucky, by the way. I spent this weekend editing all my thumbnails to get the 4K backgrounds, everything ready for Last of Us and Andor. So I was able to jump on this quicker because I've got all the right things in place now. But there is going to be more Star Wars stuff coming. We will be covering Andor. I'm almost calling that and Last of Us our headline series for the year. Granted, they're both TV shows. They're airing at the same time. They're the two bigger shows of the year for me. We've got Mission Impossible. We've got so many great films as we move into blockbuster season. There will be a lot more. I'll be following the James Bond news very carefully as well. I don't think we'll get much in the next couple of weeks, but in a couple of months, maybe. There'll be some big discussions revolving what we do on the channel. Once award season is done and dusted on Sunday, we'll be able to get back into more regular rhythms, more new reviews, more TV stuff, more discussions. We'll probably bring back Mount Rushmore for a couple of weeks. I'm really excited to see what we're going to do this year. So if you're a fan of Star Wars, I do recommend sticking around. We've got links in our description that I'll put through to our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Blue Sky. We're on all of those, posting what we're up to. As I said, more videos to come. And if you enjoy Andor, stick around. There'll be more Andor stuff coming. Link in the description. You want to see our Season 1 videos, you're more than welcome to. They are all there. And that's going to do it for me today. Once again, thank you all that's been commenting, everyone watching at home. If you're not watching live, want to leave a comment, I will reply to those. But until then, I'll see you on the next one.